Broducers, it's Özgün here. In this tutorial, I'm gonna show you how to make Melodic Techno only using stock plugins. I will only use several samples from some sample packs, but other than that, white noise, the ARP, the main melody, the bass line, everything is gonna be produced by Flex, and also the whole mixdown, the EQ and compression and sidechain and the stuff is gonna be applied by the stock plugins. And if you're ready, let's get into that tutorial. Okay guys, this is the kick I'm gonna use. And let's make the BPM 124, something around that. And let's get rid of this fruity limiter. I'm gonna apply some other master chain later. And by the way, the OTT or free clip, I like to use both of the plugins. So just saying they are not stock, but they are free. So you can just download them and still follow the tutorial. So the first thing I'm gonna do, just to apply a little bit of coloring to the kick, I like to boost a bit of the mids. Maybe something like that to just color it a bit. I don't like to process the kick in the empty project. It just doesn't make sense without the whole context. But just to give a bit of the coloring is fine. So now let's go to the bass. For bass, I'm gonna go use Flex, and I had this amazing preset for the bass. I already used it in another tutorial, but this time I won't using the Arpeggiator. So when I play MIDI, it sounds like this. It's a really good sound, but if I just disable the arpeggiator in here, I'm just gonna send it to another channel, call it bass. I'm gonna give it a bit overdrive, so we will hear it more properly. And for the sidechain, I just wanted to keep stock plugins as well, so I'm not using LFO tool or stuff. I already knew Fruity Love filter can almost identical with LFO tool, but I haven't tested before. But now I'm really enjoying this one, so I created this patch. I'm gonna put a link in the description so you can just download and use it. You can right click and create some LFO points. You can just delete them, or you can Alt and drag, it's gonna snip, so you can make really detailed stuff. All this plugin does is just sidechaining with this curve. Let's put it somewhere around here so we get space for the bass, because our kick is kinda long. Okay, let's write the bass line now. I think this pattern is really catchy. And it's all about repeating the bass pattern. So let's copy it like that. You can create so many different stuff, but in the end, I like to have a minimalistic, simple loop that is repeating all the time. And maybe we can just give a bit body to the bass. And I think we should get rid of the reverb. So now you need to decide if you need reverb. Probably you should better to layer another sub bass and just layer this one as a mid bass, top bass, something like that. So the sub should be dry and more tight maybe. And the texture bass can have reverb and all other stuff. But now I can just turn off reverb. I don't like that much. But I'm not sure about the delay, because it's giving a really nice character to the bass. I think I can use it like 20% or something. That should be okay. Once we have the bass, I like to start creating the main groove, the drum elements. So let's bring some close heads to the project. And I like to group them in a maybe drum bus. I'm just gonna send all of my drums. It's gonna be more organized. Maybe I can, make some group processing. And also, I like to bring another empty channel and call it drum reverb. Let's lock that channel and send the drum reverb to drum bus. So I'm gonna load a fruity reverb to the drum bus, but since this is a Synth channel, I will just lower the dry. I don't care about early reflection, so we just need a full wetness. So if I put the closed heads like that, it will be more easy. The MIDI, I'm gonna go something like that. So I'm just leaving some space for the kick and I'm putting a rolling head. If you have this problem, just turn off the loop points. Still, it can be more tight. We can just cut self, which means every new MIDI is gonna disable the previous sound. Okay, let's listen it with the context. I will lower the volumes a bit for you not to clip. So the first thing we should do, when you program hi-hat, there are several stuff to be focused on. The first, envelope. I think we can have a really shorter hi-hat. Maybe something like that would fit better. Other than that, it's too sloppy. It's not enough. I think we should have some velocity curve like that. So it's gonna be more humanized and it's gonna add some groove to the track. Now we are just pointing the last hit, which is giving another rhythmic feeling in the whole context. Sounds really nice. Let's get rid of the low frequencies. And I think the hi-hat could be a bit more fat and occupy more space in the spectrum, so I like to give a bit of overdrive. Let's leave it like this. So let's send this one to reverb bus. Now I will add a compressor and I will send the kick to here, even to here, not sending any sound, just connecting them so the compressor will detect the kick. And let's make the ratio 2:1 and I will just give a bit compression. When the kick hits the hi-hat, it's gonna duck itself. They never be at same point, same time, but still it's gonna help the groove and make everything a bit more clean. So far so good. Let's clone this one to drum reverb bus and I'm just gonna sidechain it, but really less because the reverb is really subtle already. So I'm doing everything to have some space for the kick because kick is the king of the track, so everything should serve the king. Now I will bring an open head. It sounds like this. It's kind of blurry, kind of noisy sound, and I like to put it to off beats only. Again, we have the same problem. The length of the hi-hat, it's way too long. So then we can just go envelope settings here and make some decay fix. Let's get rid of the low frequencies. And give it some reverb. The next thing I'm gonna add is shaker. It's all about building the drums properly. Just make sure you are spending enough time to sound selection. For shaker, we can just go do like that. Let's cut self. And this time I'm gonna go velocity again. Maybe we can try something different. We can accent the middle note. And we can go to pan and just pan the guys. Oh, I think we wrote it wrong. It should be rooted in here. Let's get rid of the low frequencies again. Let's give it a bit reverb and see how it's gonna change. And I plan to just put it really back off the mix. It's kinda gonna just support the overall sounds. Yeah, we are creating a really nice groove. And the last thing I'm gonna add is claps. They will be offbeat claps. I'm gonna layer these two. Let's lower the volume first. So one is really white, one is more punchy. I thought they could sound good together. Something like that. But I'd like to give them their own channel. Let's group them in here because we need to cut the low frequencies. Probably in the clap you don't go to the mids, but you just clear the very low end. Something like that would be proper. Let's put it to drum bass. And let's fine tune it with the kick. And I think we can even shift one of them. It's gonna be more groovy if you shift some of the layers like that. And the next thing I'm gonna do to turn on the main swing here, maybe 20, maybe 25%. This is only gonna work if you are having the MIDI notes inside of the channel regs. If you put it the sample to here, for example, if you are writing your hi-hats as we do the kick and clap, it's not gonna work. It's only affecting the MIDI information. That's why it's good, because it's gonna apply the bass, the close, open, and the shaker. All of them is gonna be applied by the same swing. So let's hear how it's gonna sound and find a sweet spot. Next thing, we are gonna work on our main ARP. So the main ARP is really important in a melodic techno track. It's gonna be repeat all the time since whole drop. So we better find something not boring because it's really tricky to loop something forever and make it not boring. So I have a tip for you when you create ARP. I hope it's gonna be really helpful for your future productions. So the sound is gonna be this. Okay, this is just a basic plug sound, and let's send this one to its own channel and call it ARP. And let's give it some sidechain with the same plugin, but I'm not gonna make it 100%. I'm gonna maybe make it 70% or something. So in this kind of tracks, you don't go 100% hard sidechain. Okay, let's write the MIDI now. All you're gonna do is, our key is A sharp, right? Because the kick and the bass in A sharp. Let's go make it A sharp. Let's go minor. Now I can see which notes I can use. The bright keys are the usable keys. I'm just writing 4 notes at first. Oh, let's fix the pan and let's give a bit velocity. Okay, it's proper now. I'm just gonna try the usable keys. Sounds catchy enough. Maybe we can test this one with the kick. I think this one is the best one. Let's use it. But to make it less boring, I'm just gonna cut it from somewhere not make sense and loop it. It's gonna be make sense when I do that. So the pattern is like this, right? 4, 4, 4. 4 notes only. What if I take like this much and loop it from here? It's instantly becoming something polyrhythmic and it's becoming really interesting. Maybe we don't cut it from here. Maybe we do it from here. It's all gonna give you different vibe. Yeah, just think of the possibilities. You can do so much stuff with it. I think I'm gonna go with this one. And probably in the 4, we should just stop doing the polyrhythmic stuff and reset the phrase. Then it's gonna be rememberable. It's not gonna be that much complicated. It's gonna be resolved in only 4 bars, but it's hell of a polyrhythmic according to your kick and bass. So let's listen how it sounds in the full. So I'm gonna give it a bit of overdrive. And I will use this patcher patch, exact one that I shared in another video. So if you didn't download this one, you can just check that out. It has a built-in reverb delay synth with a sidechain, so I can just use it with this kind of sounds. And I like to cut the low frequencies because I need it to separate from kick and bass. And velocity in most of patches are working. By the way, did we missing some note in here? I think the correct one was like that. I made a copy paste fail. So my point is to, when you have lower velocity, it's gonna sound a bit like less cutoff. And when you push the mix to up, it's gonna transform into some square. That can sound good also. Okay, let's add some pad to the track. This is the patch I'm gonna use, again from Flex. Let's send it its own channel, call it pad. So it sounds like this. Yeah, really nice choir sound. So all we need to do is hold the root and maybe another root. And we can just put some fifth. We can use it something like that. I just lowered the top voice velocity a bit. Now probably We can low cut, even we can high cut. And I think we can give it tons of reverb to make it so blurry. It's like 20 seconds of decay. It's gonna be weird, but let's try. Yeah, maybe 10 seconds or something. Even I'm gonna just put it really back off the mix. And let's copy paste the same sidechain and put it to the pads. Okay, the next sound is the lead. Let's go create the lead channel in here. So this sound is, let's fave it, one of my favorite sounds. It's really unique, some brass, some step kind of sound, so we can make really cool melodies with it. So I'm gonna bring an overdrive again to just saturate my sound. And let's bring the same patch for delay and reverb. Let's copy sidechain, maybe give it less curve, and we can mix it less again. And now I'm just gonna listen the whole track and try to come up with some melody. I like to give the full melody space to ARP, but you know, I can have another main melody that can just hook sometimes. So I'm working again a bit with the velocities to give it more groove, more humanizing feeling. I think we can use it like that, but still maybe we can give OTT to glue everything together. And let's don't forget to cut the low frequencies from the synth, the main lead. Okay, it sounds really nice. But now I think we are missing two last parts. One is having a white noise, and the other thing is having something in the gaps between, because the lead is not playing anything for most of the time, and ARP is gonna be too repetitive if we only have that one. So we will have something to cover in these parts, and for that we are gonna use this preset. It's Iris Sound from Bass Utopia. It's kind of like a bass shot. So we can just put that sound to its own channel, and we can have it only in the second part. I will copy several stuff from the lead channel because the processing is gonna kinda same. Just saturate it, give a little bit of color. And also let's copy the sidechain. This time do it like that. We can still have OTT to just compress and make it bigger. Let's listen it in the track. Yeah, now everything sounds more full, more decent. And lastly, I will have a white noise. Let's just make the noise patch by ourselves. I'm gonna send it to channel, call it white noise. All we need to drop a line. So I'm thinking to have something like that. It's gonna be only play like an impact on the beginning of the part. I'm gonna give it some distortion. Then let's just copy the reverb that we use on the pads, the really white big reverb. Let's even make the decay to 20 seconds because I want to use some starting sweep, and then I'm gonna give the job to the reverb and it's gonna cover the rest. So let's hear how it sounds. Just I imagined. Now we will have an EQ like that. So we get rid of the low and the high frequencies. And then we will have like 10 seconds of stereo Haas effect. It's gonna make the noise really white. And lastly, we just need the sidechain. Okay, let's listen it inside of the track. Sounds really nice. The last thing I can add some wave shaper to drum bass, and I can just boost just a little bit to get a bit more clarity on the drums. And to be more safe, we can just add a soft clipper. So we just get rid of the unwanted clippings on the drum bass. So before I finish the final preview, I like to cut with linear EQ. Like track is starting from my bass, my root note is somewhere around 50 and 60 hertz. So I can even cut it from 35, 40 hertz. So I don't need that really low frequencies. We can do the same for high, but I don't do it most of the time. But still, if you like to have something like that, push, we can just cut and boost at the same time with the bandwidth curve. So maybe I can just put it to 18K and give a little bit of high frequencies. Just do it with monitoring with the span. And let's hear the full track. Also, if you want a bit more clarity, just try to find some mod frequencies. And let's just dip that frequency a bit. After that, I like to put a compressor and make the ratio 2:1. So maybe attack to 10 milliseconds or something. It's fast, but it's enough for the punch of my kicks to get through from the compressor itself. Then I like to compress it just a little bit. This is not the maximizer or something, just to glue the most of the dynamics in the tracks. And lastly, I'm gonna add a clipper in the hard clip mode. This is my maximizer. I will just give a little bit of gain, and that's all for the mastering. Let's hear how it's gonna sound. Okay, let's make a final preview before I end the video. I hope you can apply this to your own productions too. Thanks for watching, guys. See you on the next video. Bye bye.